Hey everybody, so today is August 17th and we're going to take a look around Fredericksburg in the midst of the pandemic and see if we can't get some people to interview, see what they think about the pandemic and the effect that it's had on them, and we'll see what they say. So we'll see if anybody's willing to talk. We'll see. Hey, would you guys be willing to talk on video about how the pandemic's affected you?
And it goes on where? Are you on a YouTube channel?
Yeah, so it's just YouTube. So the Wall Street Journal picked up my videos earlier and they're getting ready to do a Netflix video or Netflix movie on all of my stuff, so it might actually be someplace.
Well, I hope you do, but I don't want to be.
Yeah, I don't know if it will, if this particular clip will make it, but I was on a cruise, a 3-week cruise that ended horribly. So I video logged the entire cruise, like all of it. So Wall Street Journal picked it up and they did a documentary, and then Netflix, I guess, is going to make a movie out of it.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So,
now, are you videotaping people as you're going along?
well, I'm actually
Only
talking
only if I say it's okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's why I'm asking you.
Oh, sorry.
I don't want to interrupt you if you
No.
I want to be on a video.
Do you want to do an interview
Sure.
about how the pandemic's affected you?
There you go. I traded you.
Okay, so basically, if you can just tell me like who you are and how the pandemic's affected you, what it's meant to your life, and all of that good stuff.
Okay. My name is Savannah. I'm, sort of local. I work 2 jobs down here in Fredericksburg. I'm a local artist. I have been affected by the pandemic in ways where, one of my jobs has had to go completely virtual on wheels because of that. So the businesses have been affected. As far as I would say my social life, it's kind of a lonely time, especially when having moved to the area and then you don't have a way to really meet people. So I'm grateful for the second job I just got, because that's allowing me to meet people with these restrictions being lightened a little bit, but it's still, the scariest part I think is having my sister who's prone, to illnesses like that, and wondering if she'll be okay. I'm alright, but that's the scariest part. For me, that's my experience.
Awesome. So have you found that emotionally that you, like friends of yours or anybody like that has suffered? Like we were just reading that the suicide, that 25% of all American teens had actually contemplated suicide during the pandemic. Have you run into any problems, like mentally or emotionally or spiritually, where you felt like that was effective? That somehow that was.
It looks like, yeah, okay.
Here, I'll let you actually hold it.
Oh, okay.
So that way
No
you
problem.
know.
Hi. It's my close-up. No, just kidding. All right. So, as far as the mental health stuff, I'm greatly affected by that every day. But as far as during the pandemic, I know that for a lot of people, some folks I know, that staying at home can be a problem. Not having a place to go, like going to work, can be detrimental on your mental health. It gives you time to sit there and wallow in your emotions, and if you're not good at not doing that, that's a problem. But I personally, it's just been the loneliness for me, and that can contribute to the mental health issue.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
You have a great day.
You too.
Thank you. So we heard from, she actually got a second job to try and get away from some of that emotional loneliness, which is, I'm wondering if that's maybe something that is a good coping skill. It's a little extra money and it gives you a little bit of a chance to kind of see what's, what else is out there as far as job wise too. So maybe that's actually a good thing for her and them. So the town is actually starting to come back alive a little bit, and we're seeing basically restaurants and things starting to open back up, which is encouraging, but it's still a little scary that we don't have more businesses open. Just about every other one that I go to, as you can see, this one's closed, and we have a restaurant down there that's open for outdoor seating, maybe indoor seating as well. This one, it appears, is open, so that's good. Starting to come back alive, but this allergic type reaction in the world is very concerning, because as the panic goes up, everything tries to shut down, and they don't realize that the shutting down is actually more detrimental than the actual virus itself. And so in order to try and protect their people, they actually end up hurting them, which is actually exactly what a virus does in the body. And I know I've talked about this a lot at different times, but the virus itself is just an edit to the DNA, and the body's response to an edit in mid-cycle, after it's already been written, can be kind of like teaching an elderly person how to use a cell phone when they've only used a rotary phone. They're very stuck in their ways, and we are that way for a reason. There's a really good reason why we're that way. And we've seen how edits can actually end up making things worse rather than making them better. And so the body's response to that is to take out those cells with the virus in it. So the antibody response is almost worse than the edit that the virus is trying to do. So we are seeing that here on the streets. There's very few people. This one's closed, so we are seeing the effects of that in a real live, what would you say, mass demonstration of what happens in the body during a virus. And that doesn't usually, usually something that happens to the body, it only affects a very small percentage of the cells in your body. But something like this is very systemic, and in pandemics, it's basically like the entire world is affected by it, and the whole world is on a stage as a result of that. So I'm just showing you a little bit about the stage. Looks like Corky's is actually closed today too, so not sure. I guess they're actually closed on all Mondays, or this Monday anyway. So we're still very quiet. As you can see, we've got one police officer over there that's just kind of monitoring the streets, which is most likely because of the protests. We did have almost the same response that happened in Germany right before Hitler took over, is that they had factions within the United States that were trying to actually take down the system. And we saw that, and there's a lot of similarities between some of the things that are happening and when Hitler took over. So that, I think, is very concerning for most people who have been to school and read the signs. And the signs that we're seeing are, indicative of a very big change. One of the stories that came out this week was that the United States Post Office was dismantling its mail sorters. I don't know how to explain this other than to explain that I think that there might be another reality or another place where life is budding. I get this sense that as this world is coming to a close, that there is a world out there that is getting all of the best and the best from us. And it's very indicative of like when our children, when we give birth to a child and a brand new baby, and you know, the mom gets old, and eventually as the mother gets old, the cells abandon her. The body, you know, says, hey, you know, I made another body. I made another place for me. You know, the spirit says, you know, hey, you're in this body, but this is not your home. Your home is with the body that you made. And the reality of that is that it's not our body. That body has its own mind and spirit, has its own place, and the earth may think that there's a better place out there than the place that it's in. But I truly believe that even as we age, that we are in the best place, and making that place better is extremely important. And there might be people out there that have two places and have decided to choose one over the other. And I believe that there is a passage in the Bible that talks about that. A man with two heads will fall. And it's kind of one of those things that if you have a life in one place and you have another life in another place, it can't work. Sorry, but it's kind of like making your life in your head, when in your dreams, and then what happens to the life that you have is that the life that you have when you're awake slowly gets eaten up by the one that's in your dreams, or you suck out your dreams in order to make sure that you have a life here on earth. So I don't know if that's what's actually happening, but it kind of popped in my head. But anyway, you guys stay safe out there, and looking forward to seeing your videos of your town and what's going on around you.